Following up is the heart of nurturing trust, maintaining momentum, and differentiating yourself in a crowded market. And for us designers, this translates into staying top of mind, turning hesitations into opportunities, and building a reputation for care and attention to detail. Welcome to the House Up podcast, your go to space where design, cognitive sciences, well being, and business come together. I'm your host, Monica Costa, and today you're tuning into a design business capsule, an exploration into strategies and insights that support the business behind your design practice. This podcast is powered by HAUS, born from its mission to guide designers in creating spaces for well being grounded in cognitive sciences principles, and brought to you in collaboration with Jordi Andujar, the strategic mind behind it. Let's dive in. You know what's funny? Almost everyone I know is super uncomfortable following up with people. Actually, I was one of them. Someone would ask me about my services, show some interest, and then disappear. And then I would think, well, I don't want to bother them. Maybe they're not into this process anymore. I actually felt like I was chasing people, like I was being pushy, until a mentor reframed it for me completely. He said, if you created something because you genuinely believe it helps people, then following up is part of that help. It's not bothering someone, it's reminding them of something that they once considered important. And that hit completely different. Because when I really looked at it, I realized that the times I got annoyed at follow ups, it was usually because I was asking for information out of curiosity, not out of real interest. Or because I didn't know how to say no, honestly, and felt weird replying to that person. That sense of them chasing me just to sell me something was totally on me. And once I understood that, the whole energy on this following up process shifted for me. Now, giving follow up doesn't feel awkward. It feels like part of the process, like a part of the responsibility I chose when I decided to offer something of value to others. And now I totally understand that sometimes following up is basically helping someone move forward. And when it doesn't help others, it shows me where I can improve. Either way, I'm not second guessing myself, and I'm just being present and honest in the process. So that's what we're talking about today. I want to help you flip the script on follow ups. Why do so many of us avoid follow ups when most of us know that they're actually one of the most powerful parts of our client's journey? Today, we will look at what a follow up really means, how to reframe them so they feel aligned with you and with your values, and how they can actually help you serve better, aside, of course, from selling more. Believe me, when we drop the fear of bothering people and start seeing follow ups as an act of service and clarity, you will thank yourself for giving this a try. The first thing we'll do here is make a quick distinction. Stay with me because it'll make sense in a minute. The difference between marketing and advertising. Advertising is when you put something out there to be seen. It's loud, it's visible, and it's usually paid. Now, marketing, on the other hand, is the ongoing process of building connection, clarity, and trust. Well, follow ups are marketing. They're the part of how your brand communicates who you are. Someone intentional, committed, and truly present in your services, right? Someone who doesn't ghost their clients when things get quiet, but who shows up with clarity and care. So, if we see it as part of a global marketing plan, now the fact of following up with qualified leads makes more sense, and we can actually realize it's way more powerful than it sounds. In fact, it might be one of the most important things you do for your business because you end up improving awareness and understanding for your audience. You end up also establishing trust in your personal brand and services. You end up developing a positive customer relationship from a sensitive approach. Remember, loyalty arises from consistent, authentic touches that show you care. Plus, maybe your contact is not ready for your services right now, but he or she can maybe refer you if they trust and like you. You also get to know them and their whys way better. And this helps you identify improvements and new opportunities. And you also end up increasing your sales because a lot more people than we think are interested in what we have to offer. There is just a high attention deficit and simply life's happening. So, since now I've made sure to share the reasons why you should be breaking that follow up ice, now I want to share the step by step process you can apply in your creative business, whether you're just starting, are a freelancer, or have an established design studio. And in the next business capsule, we will talk about how to gather those leads. But for now, the ones you have, let's see how to nurture them. The first step you will have to do is to develop the right mindset. We will start here because mindset really does shape how follow ups feel. Like I've said before, and I will not get tired of repeating this, when you reach out to someone, you're not being pushy. You're showing up with care. You're holding space for something they were once excited about. And maybe they still are. For me, every single follow up is a continuation of how I serve, with empathy, presence, and the intention to support someone through a process that is actually really meaningful. So the next time you hesitate, pause and remember most people need time to process, especially when it's a big decision. A no doesn't mean never, it might just mean not right now. And even if they decide to go another way, that doesn't shrink your value. It gives you feedback, perspective, and growth because that is data that helps you refine for the future offers. Keep that energy, keep that clarity. You're not chasing, you're connecting. Now let's go to the second step, organizing your contact list to track progress and build momentum. Clarity builds confidence. And when it comes to follow ups, you need a system that holds the memory for you. You can create a simple spreadsheet or use your CRM to track a few things. Like, when was the last time you connected? What did they share? Challenges, their doubts, their dreams. How do they prefer to communicate? On Instagram, DMs, emails, WhatsApp? What's the next step? And when will you follow up again? Did they mention anything personal, maybe a launch or a move, or maybe even a dog's name? Jot it all down. Those little details matter because they see that you care for them and that whatever they're telling you, you're taking it into account to create a better service for them. And then all you have to do is make it a habit to check this list often because the more organized you are, the more grounded you will feel, and the less likely someone will slip through the cracks. This is how you turn curiosity into connection and connection into momentum. Now, the third step would be strategy, creating a follow up plan that resonates with you. So let's move away from random, just checking in messages and get intentional. Start by setting a clear goal for each person. Do you want to reconnect, clarify a doubt, offer something specific? These are things you need to know before you reach out. And then you shift the focus. Instead of listing your full service menu, speak to what they told you matters for them. What are they struggling with? What do they want to create? Your follow up should help them feel seen and supported in that specific thing they're struggling with or are being challenged by. So make it personal. Use templates if you want, but adapt them. Mention something they said in the past, a project they shared, a doubt or hesitation they expressed. And of course, be consistent. So this means do not let weeks go by and by. What I do in my case is I block out one follow up hour a week and I stick to it like it's a client's meeting. From there, we go to the fourth step, which is execution. You will here have to master your follow up touch points. So now that your plan is in place, how you follow up matters just as much as when, because different channels create different experiences. So you have to be wise and choose the one that fits the moment and the client. I'll give you some examples. You can choose a quick call when you want to bring warmth and to remind the client there's a real human behind the offer, especially if you're a designer, because this is a great chance to talk through ideas and ease any hesitation they might have, like concerns about timing or even about budget. Keep it light and focused. Something like, hey, I was thinking about how this concept could really support your lifestyle. Want to hop on a quick call? Something very gentle. Another option you have is email. It's perfect for showing your work visually. So, a simple layout with a past project that mirrors their vibe, or even a sketch or a mood board to spark their imagination. Now, you have to make sure that it feels like it's written for them, not for your mailing list, not a generic email for everyone. Bring back something they told you and always include a clear next step like, would you like to explore how we could customize this for your space? Or something more like, here's the link so you can schedule the next meeting so we can talk about it. Now, there are some other options that help you really stand out. Things like a video. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. So, a 1 minute voice and face recording where you show genuine excitement and remind them what they shared with you can go a long way. This is something you can send via WhatsApp if you have their phone number or via email, and they will most likely answer. And lastly, for a more tactile touch, you can send them something physical. Something like a handwritten note or a material sample or a little curated gift that says, "Hey, I see you." Even a mini color palette with a quick note, something like, "Thought of you when I picked this texture. Want to chat more about how it could work in your space?" These touches make all the difference, and they don't have to be complicated. They just have to be and feel real. I mean, if you think about it, following up doesn't have to be stiff. You just need to stay present, make it real, and connect from a right place of genuine support. And then the last step, which sometimes is one of the first ones, is letting go gracefully. Because sometimes the most powerful thing we can do is knowing when to let go without closing the door, of course. If someone's gone quiet, it doesn't always mean they're not interested. Life happens, priorities shift. But instead of ghosting back, bring a gentle clarity into the space. So maybe you want to try asking, is this project still a priority, or should we pause our conversation for now? It shows respect for their time and yours. And if they're simply not ready, you can still leave the door open. Something like, okay, I understand. And would it be helpful for you if I reached out again in a few months? And of course, there should be no pressure, no hard feelings, just mutual respect and a relationship that stays intact for when the time is right for them. Because just like following up is key, so is knowing when to stop. I mean, the idea is not pushing until everyone feels uncomfortable here. It's actually being present, available, and attentive, but never invasive. So, if you've already made several thoughtful touches and received either silence or clear evasiveness, it's time to release. Simply because your energy is valuable. Because pushing past the right moment can strain the relationship and distort how you view yourself and your work. And because sometimes silence is the answer. Knowing when to stop is part of your maturity as a professional. It's acknowledging that your work has worth and that you don't need to convince anyone by force. You can close the loop with grace and leave the door open without losing your center. A simple message like, if this ever resonates again down the line, I'll be happy to reconnect. Or wishing you clarity and all the best moving forward. Those can be the strongest close, kind, grounded, and energetically clean. And this is specifically for those times when the most aligned thing you can do is not follow up at all. Because there are moments right from the first exchange sometimes when you can feel the misalignment. Maybe it's energetic, maybe it's a values mismatch, maybe it's simply not the right time for them or for you. And that deserves just as much respect. Follow ups are about offering your services. Yes, but they're also about your time and your energy, your intentions, and your knowledge. And honestly, if the connection isn't there or the signals are clearly off, it's okay to honor that and just move forward with your energy intact. Because as I see it, true growth in business comes not only from knowing when to reach out, but also from knowing when to step back gracefully and with integrity. And of course, there are some nuances. Timing, context, and the emotional landscape of the client all matter. There's not a single formula that works for everyone. Some people need reminders, others need space, and some others simply aren't ready, even if the interest was once real. So, part of growing as a business owner and as a human, of course, is learning to read the room, honor the energy, and let your strategy hold space for both persistence and pause. That's when your discernment becomes your strongest marketing tool. And here's the truth: not every follow up turns into a sale, not every kind reminder is received with kindness. Sometimes people ghost, sometimes they change their minds. Sometimes the process is slow, and that doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. What matters is that your follow ups are grounded in care and clarity and in self respect overall. Because when you come from that place, even the no's give you data, and the yeses, they feel like mutual alignment, not persuasion. That's the kind of business we're here to build. So here's your challenge of the week: pick three people who have shown genuine interest in working with you. And before giving them the follow up, I need you to block out 5 quiet minutes. And here you will breathe. You will take 3 deep breaths. And you will remind yourself with your eyes closed: I design spaces to support people. I'm here to guide, not to convince. And then keep it human. Just send a simple message, a short voice note, a 1 minute video, or even a thoughtful question that ties back to what they told you mattered. Let this be your intention. I'm not chasing, I'm holding space for the conversation they once chose to start. And that's it. 3 follow ups, 1 moment of presence before each, and the quiet confidence that being available is part of your magic. Following up is really just about staying connected. It's how people remember you, how relationships grow, and how trust builds over time. Especially in design, where referrals and personal connection are so important. Showing up consistently matters. If this episode resonated with you, please share it with a fellow designer who's ready to start converting leads into thankful clients. And don't forget to follow the House Up podcast to keep the conversation going every Tuesday. As always, stay well, stay curious, and keep designing your life with intention. See you next time.